Hi, I'm David Montesano, admission strategist for College Match US. College Match is the leading admission strategy company in the US. I want to talk to you today about finding the right match for you and what are some of the critical success factors in doing that. So one of the things I think that you, number one, should figure out, okay, is are you looking at your undergraduate degree as a springboard for graduate study, or are you looking to get a job right after school? This is critical. If you can define that, like even the percentage chance of you going to graduate school, if you could just sit down and tell me, is it a 40% chance, a 50% chance, a 60% chance? That's critical because we can help you figure out the right type of school for you based on that kind of a decision, okay? So just think about that and go ahead and write that down. I think it's a really important thing for you to start thinking about. The second thing that you can do in terms of a critical success factor would be look at pay scale rankings. If you're looking at just a job, right, not going to graduate school, one of the best sources of information about earnings, either first, when you start out the door, or mid-career, 10 years out, is pay scale. You just look at pay scale rankings. All you have to do is go to your web browser and type in Google, just type in pay scale graduate rankings, and you'll find a ranking of all the schools in the US by the amount that they pay out for graduates right after one degree, okay? The other thing that you got to think about if you're doing professional school, and that means an MBA, a JD, which is a Juris Doctorate, or you're looking at the MD degree, okay? Any of those really kind of magical degrees, if you will, it's important to figure out which schools will feed you in at the highest rate to those schools. And I don't think anybody really has a clear idea of that except the folks at Wall Street Journal. They did a really interesting study, this is about 10 years ago, and you can look that up. It's called the Wall Street Journal list of top 50 feeders to graduate school. It's mind-boggling. You got to look at that, okay? Now, the other thing that you should consider, obviously, is your happiness on campus. And one of the greatest ways to look at what's wrong and what's right about campuses is studentsreview.com. They have the only kind of unvarnished or unedited reviews directly from students pretty much on the web. And I find it really, really helpful. And there's even a pie chart that says how many would return to school if they could do it all over again. And what's better to know than that? I mean, that's amazing. Finally, you might be interested in leadership. And it's important to know that that's a success factor all on its own. So Forbes magazine, for example, has its own college rankings that define or heavily weight leadership generation. So that's something like, do you become a CEO or do you become a senator or whatever it is? The CEO and senator rankings are the kind of things that are built into the Forbes college rankings overall. So that's something you might want to consider as well. Thanks for listening, and I'll look forward to speaking with you in the next segment.